Now to the extraordinary pressure facing Benjamin Netanyahu, the hardline Israeli prime minister facing the potential end of his 12-year reign. This week, his political opponents forming a coalition, right-wingers, centrists, and an Arab Islamist party, suddenly unified by the shared goal of ousting Netanyahu. You can see the leaders here signing the agreement. But it's not over just yet. The new power arrangement has to survive a vote in the Israeli parliament. Netanyahu already pushing back, trying to gather allies. Joining me now is Rula Jabral, foreign policy analyst and visiting professor at the University of Miami. Rula, thank you so very much. You're one of the best people to talk to about this. So I'm just going to start with this, because a lot of the American audience may not really even understand the complications of the Knesset and the Israeli parliament. How did Netanyahu get pushed out of his job? The elections were back in March. How did he get pushed out of leadership? And what was the incentive on the part of the coalition that came together?
I will start with the second part of the question. The incentive is they loathe Bibi Netanyahu. He's been, they all hate him. They understand that he's been in power for 12 years. He's the long-serving prime minister. He is corrupt. He stands trial for corruption, for bribery, for abuse of office. And then he's been using racism and incitement against anybody that would oppose him. Naftali Bennett, the probable prime minister, next prime minister, was his protege, was Bibi Netanyahu protege, was his ally, was his creature until he turned on him because he mistreated him for as long as. Bibi Netanyahu is exactly like Donald Trump. He's loyal to nobody. He will use you and abuse you and basically throw you away. In this moment, as we speak, he is inciting, he and his entire family. His son was even suspended because he's inciting against Yamina party, Naftali Bennett, next prime minister. He's inciting against him personally, against his proxies. He's posting on Facebook. His son is posting on Facebook the address, the home address of these officials, of these elected members of the Knesset. So these extremists can go and kill them. What he wants, he got away with murder once because he incited against the prime minister of Israel in 1995. Leah Rabin, the wife of Yitzhak Rabin, accused him of inciting. 1 month before Rabin was killed, he was in a main square where people were saying, Rabin is a traitor, Rabin is a Nazi, we need to get rid of him with blood and fire. 1 month after he was killed. He's at it again. He's inciting against these opponents. That's why they want to get rid of him.
So Rula, this is really key because what you're seeing is very interesting to me from the American perspective, because you had a coalition party say, hey, look, this guy is too extreme. We have to get rid of him, which is clearly something that's not happening in America, right? The Republican Party still seems to be loyal. Trump's protege, Mike Pence, literally just said this week, hey, it's okay that he tried to kill me. We have a new quote here from Naftali Bennett, who you said is the likely successor to Netanyahu. This is what stirred me. I had to read this quote exactly. And the Times of Israel had a headline. Bennett says, I'm more right-wing than Bibi, but I don't use the tools of hate. First off, what in the heck does that mean? That's sort of like saying I'm a slightly better thief because I don't leave footprints. And what could that possibly mean to the peace process?
There's no peace process. They might hate Bibi Netanyahu, the next government, but actually his legacy is safe in their hands. What I mean by this, Naftali Bennett and the whole coalition believe that what they need to do is to continue the project of apartheid in Israel, to keep a Jewish supremacy and to keep the occupation of the West Bank and the siege on Gaza. They actually believe that the military should be unleashed against Palestinian citizens of Israel if they protest even peacefully. I mean, this coalition is as extreme as it gets. Naftali Bennett on television said he doesn't believe in a two-state solution. He believed that this land is the biblical land and the ownership of this land is only for Jews and exclusively for Jews. So it will put the Biden administration in a very complicated position because at least Bibi Netanyahu, with all his corruption and thuggery, he played lip service to the peace process or while he was carrying his ethnic cleansing and oppression of Palestinians and violence against them. Naftali Bennett says it clearly. He wants to kill the Palestinians. There's nothing wrong with that. His number two said clearly, she said, she made actually an ad saying the perfume of democracy is fascism. She believed in fascism. She said we need to kill Palestinian mothers and their children who are snakes. That is the justice minister of the former government. Her name is Ayelet Sheket. I mean, this is the people you're dealing with. They're saying they're saying very loudly the quiet part. Exactly. This is the reality of the new government. It's more extreme than Bibi Netanyahu, maybe less corrupt, but much more extreme.
So essentially what the Israelis are looking at is more or less going from Donald Trump to Josh Hawley. Rula Jabral, thank you so much. This is really appreciated. We definitely will be keeping an eye on this story and what's going to happen to leadership in Israel. Ahead, LGBTQ in hip-hop and change for Pride Month. Next.